All right, y'all. The Diddy verdict is in after sitting in jail for over a year with his life in jeopardy. Diddy has received 50 months behind bars. Let's break this down. This is by way of NBC News. I'm going to go ahead and play this quick video and then we'll read the details, get a couple thoughts, and then we'll get up out of here. Let's see what they're saying about Diddy and the verdict. 4 years, 2 months in prison, or the sentencing, I should say. 4 years, 2 months in prison. Let's see it.
The federal judge there in the Southern District of New York has just sentenced Sean Diddy Combs to 50 months in prison, 4 years, and a little bit over 4 years in prison for those two counts, those two prostitution related counts. Of course, this is a blow to Sean Diddy Combs, who had been asking for just 14 months in prison. It's also not what the prosecutors had asked for, which had been far greater, 11 years in prison, and he has received 4 years in prison. Now, the judge still on the bench talking about where he will be housed and, of course, the fine. I want to go back to Chloe Malas, who's standing by for us outside the courthouse. Chloe, if I have you, obviously, this is a blow for Sean Diddy Combs. He's been behind bars for roughly 13 months. He had been asking essentially for time served, and today the judge saying no, 4 years.
Here's the thing, Laura. Sean Combs was facing life in prison, okay? There was a 2-month highly watched trial all over the world for 2 counts of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. He could have gone to prison for potentially the rest of his life. And remember, the mandatory maximum here was 20 years. Although this is a blow to Sean Combs' legal team, this is actually a good day for Sean Combs, because if he gets time served and he gets some time off for good behavior, he's going to go home to his family. He will get a chance to be a functioning member of society and make good on the things that he said today when he addressed the judge. You know, the judge also said that this is about deterrence. He wants to make an example of Combs to abusers and to victims. He also the judge talked about the brutal beating of Cassie. He called it savage. He talked about the gashes, the bruises, the broken down doors, and plying Cassie with drugs. He said that there has to be a significant sentence given as an example to people, right? He also brought up something, Laura, which I found really interesting, that after the government executed their search warrants of his homes, that Combs still had another freak off. So again, Combs, he will find out where he's going potentially in a matter of days. If we don't find out today, he's going to have to pay that $500,000 fine. But again, it's better than what he was looking at just a couple months ago. And, you know, we've talked to experts and a prison consultant by the name of Craig Rothfeld, who represents Luigi Mangione, Harvey Weinstein. He doesn't work with Weinstein, and he might, and he gets people ready for federal prison. Anything will be better than the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where Combs even talked in his letter to the judge, saying that he doesn't even have fresh air. He doesn't have sanitary water. Now, these are things that the MDC denies. They say that they do have humane conditions there. But again, Combs, he's going to be able to take classes. He'll be able to teach those business classes that he's teaching at MDC, and life will be better for him. Obviously, he'll be able to have visitation with his family, access to email, access to classes, books. But again, yes, he's going to spend some time in prison, but at some point, Combs is going to get out. I also want to tell you, though, that the judge just said a few moments ago, I want to speak to the strong women who came forward to tell the world their stories of courage. Jane and Cassie Ventura have been through abuse and trauma, and we couldn't imagine a great modern love story, which was something that was said during Mark Agnifalo's closing arguments, where he compared Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs' relationship to a great modern love story. And that's where even the jury started laughing at that moment. I was in the courtroom when he said that. So the judge is bringing up multiple instances in which he does not agree with the arguments that Combs' team was made. But again, this is a big blow to the prosecution, Laura, who wanted more than 11 years for Combs.
All right.
Chloe, we
Hold
heard.
on. You relax. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead. Let me break down some of the quick notes real quick that we have here. It says the judge has sentenced Diddy to 50 months in prison, fined him $500,000, and ordered 5 years of supervised release. Prosecutors had pushed for more than 11 years, while the defense sought 14 months. We just heard that in that brief excerpt right there. They were looking to get him out today. The prosecution wanted 11 years. he got 4 years, which would have equal time served, like I alluded to. Since Combs had been in custody since September 24, 2024, he will receive credit for over a year already served. A jury acquitted Combs of racketeering and sex trafficking charges on July 2nd, but convicted him, on 2 lesser counts of transporting former girlfriends to prostitution. Sign up for the Diddy Trial newsletter, blah, 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 blah. All right, so I agree with the woman that Diddy got lucky. I think that when you look at already 13 months time served, when you look at where he will eventually go, when you look at the outcome that eventually he will be able to spend time with his family, move on and live a normal life. When you look at the original charges and what they were trying to hit Diddy for, there were serious thoughts and serious question marks on whether or not he would ever see the light of day ever again. Would Diddy spend the rest of his life behind bars for what seemingly looked like a very toxic, abusive, freaky ass relationship? Nothing to do with racketeering or anything to do with crossing state lines or organized crime when it comes to that type of situation. So in those regards, in those circumstances, Diddy is very lucky. But it did seem like Diddy, the judge wanted to make an example out of him. The video that came out in that hotel room hurt Diddy like a motherfucker. The abuse hurt Diddy. Even though he was not on trial for said allegations, that hurt him. That hurt this case. And that is probably why he still continues to sit behind bars. So for the people that were calling for karma, for the people that were saying he deserves something because of what he did, no matter what he was being convicted for, I guess that's a little bit of a victory for you. I really don't have a thought or an opinion either way. I think that, like I said, he got off lucky. I think he should count his lucky stars. I think that he should go ahead and knock out that time. I don't think he'll be in prison more than 15, 16, 17 months, get moved to a halfway house. I think a lot of people are already kind of alluding to that. And he'll go ahead and move on with his life in 2 years. I think in 2 years, Diddy will be back to a normal life. So when you look at it in its totality, I think he's very lucky. I think he's very fortunate. And I think that eventually, if not today, because I'm sure he was thinking of walking out today, I think there were also rumors that he had scheduled speaking events and various things after today, assuming that he would be out of prison on time served today. Not the case, but go ahead and pivot. And in 2 years, you'll speaking engagements will definitely be available and to your access. I don't see a person in the world who would turn down listening to what you have to say after doing time in prison and after everything you just went through. So lucky in my opinion, but y'all leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about the Diddy sentencing. 50 months behind bars, 13 already served. So we shall see. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Sam Ant, CEO of the brand Viral Hip Hop News. I love each and every one of y'all. Stay locked into the platform. Don't know where it's going, don't know where it's headed, but it's definitely headed somewhere because we built it this much and we're going to do it. But hip hop, as we know it, is currently going through a hip hop rapture. Hip hop is dying, if you ask me, and it's very sad. And I don't know where it's going, man. But if you look at hip hop content and news as of late, it's absolutely disturbing. But that's for another story for another day. Stay locked in. If you are interested in our artist spotlight, if you are an artist or an entrepreneur and you want to be interviewed by me, Sam Ant, CEO of the brand Viral Hip Hop News, email me, dlsmediainc1@gmail.com. That email has been scrolling throughout this video at the bottom. You guys see it right there. Till next time, till next story. I love each and every one of y'all. Love yourselves, and we out. Peace.